Hello, welcome everyone. Get Memo in the room quickly.
Hello.
Hello. So, how's the sound? Everything good?
I think it's good.
Okay, great. Somehow my earpods are not working. Hello
Yeah.
everyone. Can you see the comments? I don't think so.
Yeah, I can see the comments. Someone said
Okay,
hello.
great. Great. Hello. Look at that. First Instagram live, you already have 170 viewers.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Welcome to our first Instagram live with SSI. Today we're talking about we're gonna have a Q&A about freediving. So if you're watching us live, you can obviously ask us your questions about freediving, and we have been collecting a lot of questions up front. So we're really excited to answer them.
Exactly.
Okay, we're
So,
just gonna give it a minute or two to see if some more people want to join. Anyways, this video will also be available afterwards, so you guys can still watch it. So today I have with me Mr. Memo, our freediving boss of SSI, I would say. He's the international training director and in charge for product development in freediving.
yes.
So welcome, Memo.
Welcome. Thank you. It's always very nice to be with you.
Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining. Like I said, if you have any questions, please ask away. We're welcoming any new questions from you. Otherwise, we'll go straight and dive in the questions that the audience has asked us in the last few days. We have posted on our stories if anybody has questions. So the first one was, and one that was asked quite a lot, is I have been scuba diving for years.
Yeah.
Do I need to make a beginner course to become a freediver?
Well, I think it was my question to my scuba instructor when I first decided to take a course. The answer was no. So same for freediving. The answer is no. It's a good thing to be familiar with the water, to feel comfortable in your own medium, but it's a different type of training. So in scuba, you learn how to use the equipment. In freediving, you kind of use yourself. So you learn how to use your body. It's a different thing than scuba. But it's fun. Yeah, you should try.
And you learn a lot. I mean, talking out of experience, I've been diving since I was like 7, 8, scuba diving, and I only did obviously also always free diving for fun, and I only did my first free diving course maybe when I was like 25, and I
Yeah.
didn't think I would learn that much, and I learned a lot.
Yeah. So I think we have the opposite story. I have been freediving almost all my life, and scuba was just a fling sometime late in my life. Yeah.
A quick fling, but
Yeah. It
okay,
became a
we're ready.
fling, not a marriage. Freediving is my marriage. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can be in that sense, you can be in multiple marriages at once. Only in that thing, like I do scuba and free diving both with a lot of passion.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
I already have a question from the audience, and that is, what is the difference between the SSI and CMAS system?
Well, let's not do it like us versus others kind, but any international organization with global standards supposed to do freediving education good. SSI's main purpose is recreational freediving. Our focus is to make everyone on the street freedivers. So we don't have a target audience like athletes or super capable people, physically capable people. So we believe everyone can be a free diver, and that is how we develop our programs, our products, our courses, keeping in mind this is for everyone. So this is our main difference from other agencies, let's say.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good point, good answer. The next question we have, and that was also an audience question, is freediving better as a competitive sport or fun freediving?
I've been doing both. So obviously, since COVID, it's not so easy to compete. It's different though. In freediving, you compete with yourself. If you think it's an arena to show yourself against someone else, like any other sport, it's going to make you unhappy. That's a fact. You should compete with yourself, and if you are achieving best of you or passing your previous best, then it is very satisfying. However, fun freediving is the core of everything. Every time you are in the water, experiencing the freedom in the water, I think this is the best feeling ever someone can imagine. So I would say fun freediving, hands down. Competition, I mean, competition are nice as well, but fun for me is special. Yeah.
I think it really depends on also the kind of person you are. The cool thing about freediving in my feeling is that compared to scuba, there is actually a possibility to also compete. Scuba diving, there is no way of competition. So having the possibility is kind of cool, but also I'm not a competitive athlete. I was never really into competing against other people. So I think that side of freediving is also really cool. So I agree with you.
Maybe I should take you to a competition, huh? You will like it for sure. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I've watched one or two in the Philippines, but yeah, was. But I think having that competitive side of it, I think is really cool, and having that possibility in our sport to do some sort of competition is what is really exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, another question we have been asked a lot is, what are the best places for freediving?
Ooh, I would say any place is a special place, you know, like your background. If you have regular access to a freediving site, it can be a lake, it can be a river, it can be ocean, anywhere, a pool. It can be the best place to freedive for you. You will have super special memories there. But of course, we have nice places. Like you said, Corinna, Philippines is amazing. You know, Bohol is a super nice place to freedive. Egypt, Dahab is a beautiful place to freedive. Turkish coast is very nice. Canary Islands, I did some freediving there. It's very nice. Almost everywhere around the world is full of surprises. And it's not only for competition, it's just to experience the underwater. I think traveling for freediving is a good idea. It's a good way of living, let's say. That's how I feel like, yeah.
Maybe a good question to add to that would be, what are good requirements to have like a great freediving spot, like calm water, warm water? What are good things to have to get to a great freediving spot?
You know, one of the very interesting freediving spots is Iceland, actually. So it's not warm at all, but the visibility, they say, is endless. So practically in a horizontal dimension, you can see around 100 meters. So that would be that must be a very special moment to freedive in a glacier lake or some kind of Arctic environment. It can be special, but in general, anywhere you feel comfortable is a good place to freedive. Good visibility, calm conditions, you know, lack of current, surface moments, they affect your fun when you're freediving. Yeah. That is the thing.
Agreed. Yeah. Water temperature, I like it warm.
Yeah, that definitely affects it.
Okay, then I have a really great question from the audience right now, and that is, at what point is an activity considered freediving? Is it a certain moment you hold your breath after like 30 seconds or after you pass X meters?
Yeah. Well, I you know, that's not an official description, but I like to justify a freediving, or like describe a freediving, like, is it a dip or is it a dive? So if I drop my sunglasses to 1 meter of water, and if I have to put my head inside to take it out, I don't consider it as a free dive. But if I have to submerge all my body down, even if it is 10, 20 seconds breath hold, I think this is free dive. So if you are doing a physical effort to put your body down and kind of descend with a technique, I consider it as a free dive. A simple dive, but a dive, yeah.
I agree. Coming back to like places and where you can free dive, because you can literally free dive anywhere. The two disciplines, one dynamic, which can be practiced in a pool, and then one constant weight where you need more depth. Yes. How does one translate to the other? And if I practice a lot in a pool, does it actually help me if I go and want to go deep at some point? Because maybe I don't have deep water somewhere.
It does translate. Obviously, a constant weight dive includes a descent and an ascent. So a 20-meter dive in open water, let's say, in total is 40-meter length, total distance, 20 down, 20 up. So a dynamic dive, a little bit more than that, obviously, a dynamic dive includes a constant swimming speed, whereas constant weight, you start the dive with a little bit of more effort, and when you start your ascent, there's always a little bit more effort as well. So let's say a 50-meter dynamic can translate into a 20-meter constant weight dive, which is 40-meter in total. Let's say 20% less the total distance. If your mind is ready, I think your body can handle it. Usually it is all here. If your psychology cannot handle it, it doesn't matter if you have 200-meter dynamic. Your brain will make you quit. That's the fact.
And I guess maybe a problem that a lot of beginner freedivers maybe also have is equalization in that sense. Of dynamic, course. You don't need to equalize that much. Yeah. Constant weight, you obviously need to equalize.
Yeah, it breaks your comfort. If equalization is not comfortable, it's not working good, for sure it will create stress and it will hinder your performance, for sure. That's a fact.
Then we have another question that came from the audience, and that is, how do you start freediving, or how do you freedive in bigger cities, or maybe somewhere where you don't have oceans or lakes close?
You know, some of the biggest freediving communities is in the Central Europe. So they have really nice clubs, social communities where they regularly meet and train in the pools. So just use Google, search for local communities, or contact your local freediving center, SSI freediving center, and they will guide you to a proper community, a nice community, and you can enjoy freediving in big cities even if you don't have access to open water. Regular freediving is very satisfying because you immediately start feeling the development in yourself. You will start having better breath hold, better performance. You will realize how good you are in the water, and I think you will like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, practicing regularly in the pool, it will also translate to constant weight if ever you go on a holiday or go to a free dive center that has access to deeper water. So practice is what you need.
Practice is the key. Exactly. Some of the greatest champions almost train only in the pool. So they train religiously in the pool and they get super strong. All they have to do for depth is, you know, like depth training, depth acclimatization. So they adapt to the pressure for a short amount of time, and then they do great results.
Then I have another question from the audience, and that is, what is required to become an advanced specialty freediver or an advanced freediver in the SSI system?
Well, advanced freediver is a recognition level for us. So it's not a proper level, but for our advanced freediver is a level 2 freediver with 2 specialties. And one specialty has to be training techniques, which is specifically focusing on how to train properly in the water. So as soon as you complete these levels, our system SSI rewards you with this advanced freediver card. So you cannot buy it. You have to train for it. Earn it. That's the thing.
Earn it.
Yeah, earn it.
Then I have a question that's been asked quite a lot in different forms, and that is, what is your fitness level need to be, or how fit do you have to be to become a freediver? And yeah, that's the first question.
Yeah, you have to swim. You have to know how to swim. Like if you really need numbers to start a level 1 course, in our standards we say you have to be able to swim 200 meters without a stop, so without stopping. So time is not the important thing here, but if you can swim, you know, for 200 meters, you can free dive comfortably. That is the only fitness level we are looking for.
And an extension to the question would be, what if you have any medical conditions? That's also something. If you have medical conditions, can you still free dive?
Well, it depends, I guess. So you should ask your doctor.
Always ask your doctor. And very important with those, find a doctor that has experience in either scuba or free diving or something, that they have basic knowledge of the fact, because not every doctor obviously understands what is involved in scuba or free diving.
I mean, if you haven't seen one, for our outsiders, non-SSI people, our medical forums are open to public, and there is a doctor guidance booklet. If you're in doubt, you can print them out and go to your practitioner. They can check what needs to be checked and properly examine you.
And then obviously, if you have any medical condition, always stay under discussion with your doctor. So whenever you start to want to go deeper, or let's say go from level 1 to level 2, always discuss it with your doctor before.
Exactly.
Very important. Okay, then I have another question from the audience. And that is, I love to explore the waters on a subwing. I think it's those things that you pull behind the boat.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is very similar to free diving, but you resurface when you're out of breath. Let me just continue reading. Oops, such a long question. Do you have any tips on extending the breath hold?
Well, the secret of long breath holds are relaxation, right? When a boat is towing you and you're attached on a subwing, my friend, you have to do really good to relax yourself. So I would suggest to focus on your breathing. I would suggest to make your body as relaxed as possible and clench your fingers on the wing and take a good amount of time to relax on the surface, at least 3 times the time that you spend under the water. So that would be my suggestion.
And as an extension, a follow-up to the question by the same person is there any exercises that you can do on land that will help you extend your breath hold? Any
breath hold can extend your breath hold. But of course, on land, you can do it systematically. But there are some rules, yeah? Don't hold your breath when you're climbing your stairs, for example, or when you're weightlifting, when you're doing squats, or when you're on a treadmill running. So they don't give you more than a simple breath hold. You should be laying down or sitting super comfortably without the risk of hitting yourself or your head to a sharp object around. Because when you overhold your breath, you can feel dizzy or you can fall unconscious. You can black out. So we don't want those things. There's absolutely no gain from a blackout. If you cannot gain more than what you can if you break yourself. So try to do like that. At some point in your breath hold, you will feel your urge to breathe. It will feel really difficult, and try to set a target over your urge to breathe, but a moderate, humble target. Maybe 10 seconds over it. Repeat it 2-3 times. If it feels good, next time 15 seconds over your urge to breathe. So try to do with a lot of repetition and simple steps, one step at a time. And stay safe. Yes.
And if you practice, especially if you start out, maybe let somebody know to watch you or to just have an eye on you in case.
Exactly.
Probably a good idea. Yeah. Then I have another question right here, and it is, how old do you think is too late to start freediving as a profession?
As a profession? I don't think it's ever too late. I had students starting freediving at the age of 70. So these are students starting enjoying freediving at the age of 70. And I saw freediving professionals starting their professional careers well over 50 years old. It all depends how passionate you are. I don't think it's the age. It's your energy level and passion to teach.
100%.
Yeah.
And obviously what your doctor says.
Correct, yeah.
You have to be able to get a medical as a professional exercise.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, the next question is it better to practice 4 days a week at a shallow 3-meter pool, 25-meter length, or 1 time a week at a facility with 50-meter Olympic-sized pool, an Olympic diving pool, so 25 by 25, 5-meter deep is a diving pool?
I would say the more the better. Pushing yourself too hard doesn't have the point. If you have regular access to a shallower pool, there is so much to do in a small pool. Some of the best trainings I did in my life is an 18-meter pool. So it's 18-meter tall and, I don't know, 1.5 meter depth.
And I would consider 25 meters actually a quite long pool for if you have access for practice. 50 meters obviously great, but 25 meters is already a good pool where you get into using your fins properly and you can pretty much practice everything quite well.
Yeah, 50 for beginners, 50-meter pool is even not advisable. 50-meter, obviously, compared to 25, it is eliminating 1 turn. You can swim straight for 50 meters. However, in a 25-meter pool, you have to add a turn. And if your turns are not good, that becomes a hassle. So you always start thinking, that turn, that killed my performance. No, it's your turn that you should practice. That is killing your performance. But I would say short pools are better. It teaches you more.
Obviously, a 5-meter pool makes it a bit difficult to get into finning, but 25 is a great size. Okay, then another question we had from the audience is about fins. For the people out there that are completely new to freediving, there's obviously a lot of different materials blades can be made of. Freediving fins are generally a bit longer, right? So the first question the audience asked a lot is fiberglass versus carbon fiber. What is better?
On paper, carbon fiber. So this is the best material for freediving fins, in bifins. The reaction of the carbon fiber, which is called the snap, it is the fastest. So in theory, it pushes you more, faster, it gives you additional performance. However, the latest generation fiberglass fins are also beautiful. An average user, I don't think can feel the difference so much, but what you can feel the difference a lot is the food pocket. If the food pocket fits your food properly, it should be a little bit tight, not loose at all. You will feel a lot of difference. So it will give you so much more performance compared to carbon fiber or fiberglass. Good food pocket makes the real difference.
What can you do if the food pockets that are out there don't fit your feet properly? Food pockets usually have like a 2 size, like from 2 size 0, 37 to 38. So, and if you're just right in between and the one is too small, the next one is a bit big, what can you do?
Well, personally, I am in that state and I always choose 1 size down. Maybe it becomes a little bit painful at the beginning, but I know it's gonna give me good performance. If you don't like that feeling, you can use freediving socks, which is good for pool training, but in open water they will also compress and you will feel like the fins are getting a little bit wobbly on your feet. Or you can use the plastic insoles, what you can put inside the food pocket. They will raise your feet a little bit higher and you will feel like a size difference more or less in the fin. So that will maybe make you very happy with your fins.
Then another question for starters. If you buy your first freediving fins, are plastic fins something everybody can start out with, or would you go to fiberglass or carbon fiber right away?
You can, actually. It all depends on how much money you would like to spend initially. That is the thing. That is the deciding factor. If you have the idea of freediving in some natural environment, like snorkeling on a reef, or freediving at a lake, or maybe freediving a little bit more adventurous but in a river, let's say, there's a risk that you can scratch your fins at least when you're getting in the water or getting out of the water. So with the fiberglass or with the carbon fiber fin, it always feels a little bit sad for the freediver. When you see your beautiful fins getting scratched, it hurts. You feel it here. So with the plastics, if you are using them in that kind of environment, you don't feel sorry with the plastics, and you can always buy the second pair carbon fiber. So the best is having two pairs.
Yeah, I also agree, especially if you look at like a freediving instructor. If you instruct a lot in a pool where you are just there as the instructor, I can imagine that maybe a plastic fin might be a good idea. So you just have, if you're standing on it or if you hit the pool walls the wrong way, it just, during teaching, you don't need to bring so much performance anyway. So
for the instructors, it also feels like you feel like Forrest Gump when you put your plastic fins out and put the carbon fibers. The difference is massive, like when you train with the fiberglass, you get super strong because they are a little bit more heavy, and then they make the difference.
Then another question about fins, and that's about blade length. Right? There's generally freedivers will use a longer blade than most snorkeling or scuba diving fins are. What are are there any requirements or are there any rules of how long the fins should be for a certain body size, or what do you say?
As you notice, freedivings are the fetish items of freedivers. There's a lot of questions around fins, and it's always endless. You always think a different model, different type, different technology fin can double your performance. In fact, in reality, no, it's not like that. I think it should be proportional to your body length. So let's say I am 183 meters tall. I use standard, I feel most comfortable in the standard sized freediving fins. And a much shorter person than me can also feel comfortable with the standard size. But if I was a 2 meter plus person, maybe longer blades might feel proportional to my size. And there are a lot of factors when you are choosing the fins: stiffness, your body size, how much muscle you have in your legs. So the important thing is to use the fins with a good technique, not to have the longest fins. So you should first practice with a normal sized fin and see how it feels for you. If it feels good, maybe you can try another one. Yeah,
I would also suggest that, and when it comes to purchasing fins, obviously it's always great to go to a dealer or a training center that maybe has a few different fins that you can try with. So maybe the shop that you work with, they have a fiberglass fin, they have the fins that they have on sale, maybe in rental, so you can test them out and see. Because especially with foot pockets, I feel like is one of those things. I get blisters very easily. So because I have a very weird foot shape. So if I need to try 2 or 3 different foot pockets, not just put them on once, but actually take them in the water maybe for 30 minutes or 20 minutes to tell me if I get gigantic blisters from them or not. So
I agree. The best would be if you have the option to test them.
Yeah, don't just go and shop online like it's so easy and so simple to do. Go find your local dealers and find your local training centers to maybe help you and find the right fin for you. Same as all the other equipment. Masks. We can order a snorkel online maybe.
Maybe, yeah, it's a safe one.
But even masks, suits, all of those things. It's very important. Okay. Then another question we have from the audience, and that's something again about age.
Yeah.
Can children start freediving?
Children can start obviously freediving. Many people think freediving is not good for children for the like for the development of the muscles or the body of the children. There's no proven fact freediving prevents the proper development of the children. No, we don't have that kind of proof. The thing with the children is freediving feels like a superpower for the children. When they learn holding their breath, they want to show this new power to their friends. And obviously the more they practice, the better they will become. And without the supervision of their parents, this can become risky. So this is what we should be super careful with the children. But what is the minimum age of our Explorer program now?
6.
Six.
For freediving.
So as SSI, we are teaching children from 6 years onwards.
Yeah, so keep your eyes open, guys. The Explorers program is coming really soon, and it's a really exciting program for kids. It has characters in it, explains everything in a playful way, and freediving is obviously done in a safe manner. Generally with kids, obviously, we don't go into deep ocean waters. We usually stay in the pool and practice more statics and dynamic things rather than a lot of depth or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But very exciting. Another question I have here is about masks.
Yes.
Freediving masks, what are the differences and what do you have to look out for when you want to get a freediving mask or a mask in general that is suitable for freediving?
Yeah, but to start with, there are 2 types of masks, which is the high volume mask and the low volume mask. And freedivers prefer low volume masks. Because when you're diving, you have to put some amount of air inside the mask to equalize it. Otherwise, the mask will really push hard to your face, and then the air inside will vacuum the tissue, so it becomes an issue. To prevent that, small volume is easier to equalize, and that is what we prefer. But the number 1 criteria in choosing a mask is the fit and the comfort. If a mask leaks on your face, I don't care if it's a gold mask or whatever the material is, that's a bad mask. So we would like really good fit, and we would like to have a comfortable thing on our face because you are going to spend hours in the water. So you should test the masks before you are buying it. You have to put it on your face without putting the strap. You have to suck a little bit air, hold it, and drop your face down to see if it is falling or sitting on your face. So just make this simple test and choose the one you like most. That would be my suggestion.
Agree. And a good mask is one of the most important things. I mean, in scuba and freediving is one of the first things and easiest things to get. Masks are not so expensive. And it's one of those things that everybody should just get, because first of all, you can use a mask wherever you go. If you just go on holiday or if you just go swimming somewhere in a pool or in a water park, you can bring your mask along. And if you have a wrong mask and if it leaks or if you have issues with it, you will ruin every free dive. You can spend as much money as you want on free diving, scuba diving, whatever. If your mask has an issue, it will not be an enjoyable time.
Exactly. That is the only equipment I have a spare in my dive bag. Whenever I travel, I take 2 masks with me. Everything without a spare, but the mask I have 2 always with me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
As a scuba diver, I have an extra one in my PC usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really important, masks. And then maybe let's talk about pretty much the last piece of equipment. Guys, by the way, if you're still listening, if you're still here, if you have any more questions, just ask away.
Yes.
So long, my last question, and that is pretty much about the last piece of equipment that we really need is a suit.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a freediving suit and a suit that's made for scuba diving? And if you get a suit, what should you look out for?
Again, you should look out for good fit. So this is the #1 criteria. You should feel comfortable inside, and you should choose it based on your diving conditions. Freediving suits are different than scuba suits. Usually, the most typical freediving suit is two-piece. So we have a top piece, which is like a sweatshirt, no zippers, nothing, sweatshirt with a hoodie kind of design. You wear it with some kind of lubrication, you know, shampoo, water, talcum powder, something like that. And the trousers are like a little bit high waist trouser. So you put these two on, the jacket goes over the trouser, and there is a flap at the end of the jacket which you pass in between your legs, and you just lock this tail to, you know, for the proper fit. This design minimizes the water getting inside the suit. Although the name is a wetsuit, usually good freediving suits rarely take water inside, and this makes them super warm and comfortable in the water. Like you said at the very beginning, diving conditions or the temperature of the water is another thing. If you are diving in South Africa, where the water is like 18 degrees, 16 degrees, a 3mm suit will not be so good for you. It's better than nothing, but still a little bit too thin. So maybe you should make your choice accordingly and buy a thicker suit. So starting from 1.5mm, freediving suits can go up to 8mm based on the conditions. And unfortunately, there is no such thing like one suit goes for all. If you are an avid freediver, you end up having a wardrobe. That is the thing.
I mean, it's the same with scuba divers, I have to say. And obviously in freediving, there's no such thing as a dry suit. Like scuba divers have. You can't, it's not physically possible in freediving. So even when it gets really cold, you just have to stick with the wetsuit.
Yeah.
I know the people that do a lot of freediving and stuff with ice in Austria. They do wetsuit with lots of Vaseline.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question from the audience, and that is, what is the best arrangement for weights on a belt, aside from being balanced? Is placing the weights closer to the middle of the back or closer to the side of the hips, or in between better?
Well, if you are in a little bit of advanced stages of your freediving career, you start learning techniques like free falling. So, which is including, you know, you stop finning and you fall, like as the name states, right? So you glide, you complete your descent by gliding down, and you use the gravity for that. The natural tendency of our body is to lean backwards. So in those kind of techniques, the idea is to be as streamlined as possible. My personal choice, and what we are recommending, is obviously symmetrical distribution of the weights, but I would like to put them a little bit in front to compensate that natural tendency of the leaning body, let's say. So I say a little bit forward and symmetrical. That would be my choice.
And then maybe for people who don't know, where on your body should you place the weight belt? And how should you place it so when you're upside down, it doesn't keep on falling, which is the most annoying thing.
So the freediving weight belts are usually rubber. Instead of these super, what do you call it, like this? What
like a nylon.
Yeah, the nylon belts are not doing good for freediving. And we place them on our hips. So these pelvic bones should be higher than the belt. So when you touch your pelvic bones, there should be almost like a 4-finger distance between the top of the belt and the top of the bone. So you really put them low. And the stretchy material, the stretchy belt, lets you keep it exactly at the position that you put the belt on. If you put it higher, it can prevent proper relaxation, breathing, so it's not as comfortable as putting it low.
Okay, good to know, good to know. I don't see any more questions. I'm just gonna double check. We answered all of those. I don't see any more questions from the audience. Do you have anything to tell the audience still, Memo?
Well, you can always drop your comments after this session, and it would be our fun and pleasure to repeat these live talks in the future. So if you have a favorite topic, just put it in the comments. If you would like to hear more about crazy freediving stories or competitions or any topic that you can think of, we'll be happy to do the live talks for you.
Okay, awesome. And then for everyone out there who's in doubt, there is nothing holding you back from starting freediving.
Exactly.
You can try. It's a super fun course. It's super interesting, and you will always learn a lot. Even if you've been a spear fisherman or a scuba diver for many years, you will still learn a lot in a freediving course.
Exactly. There is no limit. The limit is you in freediving. If you think you are super good, see how it becomes after the course. You will get even better. So.
We still have a question. We have a last minute question from the audience, and that is any special computer needed, or will a scuba computer do for freediving?
Well, actually, freediving computers are special. Some computers are double purpose. You know, some of the computers also have the freediving function inside. But the main job of the freediving computer is to calculate or to record the dive time. And as soon as you surface, they show the surface time. This is essential for the freediving computers because you have to spend at least 3 times the dive time on the surface to oxygenate your body and to relax properly. Otherwise, freediving can become risky. And the main purpose of a freediving computer is this. Of course, they can measure the water temperature, they can show you the speed of your ascent, descent, all sorts of details, but the real difference between a scuba computer is this.
So make sure that if you get a scuba computer, that they do have, a lot of them have freediving modes. In my experience, most watch size computers, if you get a watch size scuba computer, most of them actually have freediving modes. It's just usually the bigger ones that don't, because also the bigger ones are not really user-friendly for freediving. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, and if your purpose is to start freediving and just the freediving, most of these companies are producing freediving only computers which are more reasonably priced. You can have your option like that.
I have another question from the audience. Now the questions are coming in. Isn't it dangerous if you put your weights more in front in case you have to faint or you black out, I would say?
Yeah, first of all, you don't have to black out. That is the thing. The plan is to never ever black out. So you should never push yourself beyond your urge to breathe when you are freediving for fun. When you feel the urge to breathe or the diaphragm contractions, you know, the burning feeling in the diaphragm area, this awkward feeling, don't go against it. That's your body telling you, all right, my friend, it's the time to start your ascent. So we should stop breath holding when we feel that. So if you should listen to yourself. And the second of all, you have to free dive with a buddy. If you don't have a buddy, putting your weights on your back or putting no weights at all will not save you. It's your buddy who is going to save you. And if someone grabs you, who is trained for saving you, it doesn't matter where you put your weights on.
Okay, good point, by the way. Never free dive alone.
Yes.
No matter what freediving activity you do, even if you think I know spear fishermen are they very much enjoy to go by themselves, but it's a very bad idea. That's the most dangerous thing you can do. Otherwise, freediving is a very safe sport.
Exactly.
Continuing with that topic is another question. What abnormal circumstances, such as losing a fin and swimming with one fin, can we practice in the pool in case it happens in the open water?
Well, in our classes, we don't do that. It's a tricky question. You know, obviously you can have a dive with a single fin. It's not as good or as comfortable as diving with bifins. But if you are losing a fin or a main piece of your equipment, you should stop the session. You should ask your buddy to take the missing equipment if he or she can recover it for you. And if no one can recover it, that's the end of the day. Sorry, you have to go back. So you shouldn't train to keep diving with a single fin. If that answers your question, yeah.
Okay, then I have one more question. I'm not 100% sure what it means, so I'm just going to ask it. Why SSI have only an online checkbook? I mean, maybe they mean an online logbook?
I think logbook, yes.
Yeah. So for that, there is options of physical logbooks. It always depends which dive center you work with. The digital logbook is just easily available for everyone. Maybe the training center you work with doesn't have the physical logbooks in the office or in their shop. You can obviously get a physical logbook. You can order any physical logbook. It doesn't have to be an SSI one. You can order any as a freediving logbook or get that online. So you don't have to log your dives online. Obviously, logging your dives online with SSI gives you benefits of reaching certain steps and getting badges and getting rewards for your dives.
And it's very practical, you know.
Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. Yes, we've answered all the questions.
It's super nice.
Well, this was really nice. And thanks everyone for coming to our first Instagram Live. We will keep on doing them, I think. So like Memo said, if you have any topic that you want to hear, DM us at SSI, DM Memo, write it in the comments. Just let us see. And we will continue to do the lives for you.
Exactly. We are looking for your comments, your messages, and it's going to be you who will decide on which topic you want to hear about.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Memo, for joining, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, Corinna.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.